Welcome to this edition of Safe and Sound. I'm your host, Kirk Webb, and with us we have Jeff Hanna, the president of the Navajo County Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers, and Lauri Wong, who is the vice president of the SAVs, the acronym for that, for Navajo County. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, first off, I was very curious to find out some of the little bit of the history about the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers.
We're getting ready to celebrate our 30th anniversary next July. So we're in the planning stages with that. But when Sheriff Butler was around, he was the one who actually started the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers in 1990. We still have two people that are in the first and second class who are still active members.
That's awesome. So 30 years, that's something to be proud of.
Yes, sir.
And pretty active. In fact, how many members do you have currently?
We have 65 active members right now, ranging in age from 21 up to, I believe our oldest is 86.
So it doesn't have to be somebody that's retired, and you can be any age and any position.
Any age at all, just willing to help out the community in any way they can.
Well, that's
I'm sorry. In fact, we were just talking that some of the students at NPC that want to get their feet wet in law enforcement are a good applicant to help out with the Sheriff's Department and help support the community.
a good place to start.
Yes. Absolutely.
And start to see some of the things that not only being able to help out with the actual the Sheriff's Department, but because you guys, I know we've actually requested to have you guys come and help us as a fire department when we've had a burned out house. And
we've done that a few times.
We need to have somebody keep security overnight because it's kind of hard to do an investigation in the dark.
Very true.
And so, yeah, so you guys, you do a lot of things. What are some of the different activities that you guys cover?
Well, we do everything from traffic accidents. We direct traffic. We do crime scenes overnight. We do fires overnight. The wildland fires, we assist on those, blocking roads. Anything that's an extra set of hands for the sheriff. If they are having a busy night and need us to sit on a vehicle that's getting ready to be towed, we've done that. All over the county we go.
There's also intergovernment support, which means we can help out other towns, cities, a county. In addition to being out on boots on the ground in the community, we also help out with the administration from the Sheriff's Department, or maybe courthouse supervision, anything that would support the community. So
sometimes it's paperwork.
Yes, it is.
But for the most part, because we see you guys in the vehicles and you're out, so, and in fact, I think you guys actually patrol certain neighborhoods and things like that, right?
True. We participate anywhere in the county, but we also do some city things. We drive through the cities, but anywhere out in the county, Clay Springs, Linden, Heber Overguard, we have about 22 guys out there. Pine Top, Winslow, Holbrook, Cedar Hills, which is Snowflake Taylor.
So a question, let me back up just a little bit. If a person wants to become one of the volunteers, what's the process to go through?
They fill out an application. Then 3 members will come and talk to them at their house. We'll take their fingerprints. They'll have a background check done, and about 2 weeks later, if everything checks out on that, they're often ready to start doing the beginning stuff. They can do ride-alongs. They can do basically everything that we do except drive the patrol vehicle.
And so once they get hired on, do they go through some kind of academy or something like that?
Yes, twice a year we have an academy. We have one in early May, and then the other one is the end of September.
Okay. So are you limited as to how many total volunteers you can have on your force?
No.
So I take it you're always looking for.
We're always looking.
And there's always plenty of things to do, right?
Definitely. Even if somebody has limitations where they need to be sitting down, we have sit-down posts. We have a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of paperwork that goes on.
Unfortunately, in all of our jobs, isn't
exactly
there? That paper trail.
Special skills. If you're a ham radio operator, if you're EMT or EMR certified, people with fire backgrounds or previous law enforcement, or you know, even I do, you know, just administrative work and help them out with flyers.
That's awesome. So what is there a time of the year that's more busy than others, or?
You'd think it's the summertime, but during the wintertime we actually are at our busiest because that's when we do a lot of the vacation home checks. We have probably close to 600 homes throughout the whole county that we look after for people that are summer visitors.
So you're not only providing some like security patrol, but you're also going around checking on the welfare checks for people that may be homebound, things like that, right?
Correct. Yes.
So wow, that's a pretty heavy load to be taken on, isn't it?
There's a lot of families that have parents or elderly grandparents that live up in this area, you know, and they want a peace of mind. So we're happy to give that to them by just knocking on the door saying, "Hi, how you doing?" Right,
and I know we get the 911 call of go do a welfare check and check on somebody, and they haven't heard from them, things like that. And I know that helps us too because we're not always available. Mm-hmm. We're busy on other 911 calls, and so having that resource to be able to bridge those gaps and stuff, and because we are limited on how many people we have at our beck and call, and so to speak. But so now, how many? So all of these 65 people that you have, they're not just right here in the Cholo Pinetop Lakeside area. You're scattered throughout all of Navajo County, correct?
Yes, through all of Navajo County.
And you call them units?
Yeah, we're broken into right now. We're broken into 4 units. We have a unit that's in Heaver Overguard. We have a unit that is called High Country, which is Linden, Cholo, Pinetop area. There's one that's White Mountain Lakes, and there's a unit that's called Cedar Hills, which is in Snowflake Taylor, and they go all the way up to Holbrook and Winslow. And then the White Mountain unit is the oldest unit. They've been around. They were the very first unit to get started.
So the White Mountain unit, where all they cover?
White Mountain Lakes area.
Okay.
So everything in there all the way to the county line.
So that was the first unit that was organized and created.
Yes.
And I noticed that they got one of the vehicles that's parked there at the Juniper Ridge Resort.
Yes.
And so how many total vehicles do you actually work out of that are?
We have 9 vehicles that are SAV vehicles. There are 2 and 3 scattered throughout the county in different areas.
So with those 9 vehicles, how do you guys work do you sign up for shifts? Or?
Yeah, everybody signs up. We have a new system. It's called VIMS. It's a Volunteers and Management System, and everybody can sign up for a certain day, or if the vehicles aren't used every day, but we're probably close to 6 days a week we have vehicles out. They sign up, and then they go pick it up at its assigned spot, and they're off doing what they need to do for however long they're going to be out that day.
Do their patrol, or if they're doing an activity,
right,
or whatever the case might be. Mm-hmm. I know like when I've always used you when we did our bike rodeo.
Yes.
You'd come in and help do traffic control and crowd control and all that fun stuff, and sign the kids up for getting the bikes and the raffle and whatnot. So lots of different kinds of activities. You guys help out at fireworks.
Yes. Parades.
Parades, yeah.
Let's see, we've got
Navajo County Fair, parades.
Yeah, the fair.
Other county events. We do a lot of work on the reservations. We do everything from bike runs all the way to child fingerprinting at schools.
Oh, good. So you get into the schools then too as well.
Yes.
And do some education and helping out with. Yeah. And I know that's really a passion of mine. That's one of my main parts of my job, and I enjoy going into and trying to stop kids and anybody in our community, for that matter, to keep them safe, and help making our community safer. And so I think I appreciate all the help that I get for my job, regardless of where it's coming from. So
during the school year, we have some guys that like to follow behind the school buses in the mornings and in the afternoons.
For kind of catching those guys that run past the stoplights.
Yes.
Not much we could do about it, but we're
at least
presence there.
Right, and because that does help.
Yeah.
Because I still wonder how many people actually know that just because you're going the opposite direction of the bus, and if you're on the main road and those stop signs come out and the red lights come on, you're supposed to stop both directions.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the test.
It is, right? But yet you still see people doing it.
Very true.
I don't. It scares me to think that some young child could easily get run over.
When we talked to the bus drivers in the Snowflake Taylor area, they did mention that there's a lot that happens, but we are supposed to be a presence in the community. And with that presence comes a little bit more mindfulness of, other citizens that are driving or looking or, not paying attention. So it does help.
Absolutely. That just the simple presence, and on the other hand, if you get a license number, yeah, I'm sure there can be a follow-up.
There sure can.
So, and that's big. So the other thing is your funding source. How do you guys, because is every bit of this, just the name itself, volunteer, do you guys get paid?
No.
And yet you do all these functions, and I know with our bike rodeo, you've supplied us with bikes throughout the years. So how does that work?
We've gotten really good at raising. The way we raise our funds are through our house watch programs, and the community is very supportive of that, and we're able to generate enough funds we buy our own uniforms, we pay for our own training in most cases. We make enough in a year to where this year we have with Christmas coming up, we have about 400 kids that are on our list right now.
That's awesome.
That we're going to be able to help.
So you're looking at being able to even provide Christmas for up to 400 kids?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
And we're a 501c3 organization, which means we are not for profit. And in addition to the House Watch programs, there are people that just flat out donate because they enjoy the presence in the neighborhood.
And so if somebody wants to donate, they can just get with any of the volunteers that work with you guys.
Yes, any one of us, or we've got a website now, Navajo County, ncsav.org.
And we'll share that with everybody, at the end of this, we'll put that onto the...
Perfect.
But because that's important to have that information to get out, because I think people want to help out and want to donate, but they just don't know where to donate to.
You can also go on the sheriff's website, which is navajocountyaz.gov.
Okay.
And there's a link to our site from there.
Great. So, because not very much funding comes from the sheriff's department, is there?
No, they supply the vehicles and the fuel and the maintenance of the vehicles.
Right. So, but that, as far as that goes, you guys are responsible for your own uniforms.
Self-funded.
Right. And so now back to the Home Watch program that you have. Are you filled up with however many people can be on that system?
Oh, no.
So,
we got plenty of room.
So same thing with that. If somebody wants to be a part of having their home watched throughout the winter or whatever the case might be throughout the year, because it's not just wintertime that you do this, correct?
Correct.
So same thing. Do they go to the website?
Yes, they could go to either one of their websites.
Okay.
And we're working on a fillable application online. Nice. Right now that it will eventually be on there, and you can fill it out, make your donation, and it'll be emailed to us, and then we just start right away.
Cool. And so it's not like a waiting list or anything like that.
No.
So it pretty much as soon as you get the information in and they're ready to go.
Yes.
That's nice. So when you look at the different activities that you guys have done through the year, what would be, say, the largest event that you typically work throughout the year?
The county fair. That's our, we could use every one of our guys and then some, because there's we do between a 4 and 6 hour shift, and there's between 8 and 10 positions inside the fairgrounds where they would really like us to be, from different gates to sitting outside of the different halls. But yeah,
so there's times then you don't have enough people with the 65 that you have right now. So you really are looking for more people to come and help out,
always,
and be a part of it. What if they were able to just only do during the fair time or something like that? Is that or do you need them more of a full-time volunteer type of deal?
Our main criteria is 8 hours a month,
and that's
it
not
could
bad.
Be any time during that month.
Now, do you guys run 24/7 type of shift?
No, we're usually, unless it's an emergency. If it's a fire or a crime scene, then it's 24 hours. But we're usually off the road by 11 o'clock.
Okay.
That's our latest.
So you kind of start. What time in the morning do you guys typically start?
I've been out at 3 and 4. So it really depends. Our traditional start time is, I would probably say, somewhere between 7 and 8.
Okay.
When everybody is out doing their if it's a normal routine day, it'd be around that.
And so is there a set number of hours that a person does during that time, or
oh no?
So if they only have 5 hours, that's all you can do. That works.
Yeah.
And you make it fit. And so nice. And how do you work your call out system? So like say we have a fire at the middle of the night and we need because I know we just call the dispatch and they handle it for us. How do you guys?
Your list of what you did with that?
What did I do with that? Well, what I did was, once there's a call out for us, the area manager or the director or the unit director would get the call. From the unit director, then it would go out to their top people, the vice director, secretary, and the treasurer, and on down the line until they have enough people to do it. For instance, last month there was an arson that we went and sat on, and even though I don't sit on those arsons, I brought lunch to the 2 shifts that were already on there. So it's not just sitting in a car. It's not just walking a patrol. There is, support system for us. There's support system for the other, like the fire department, or the sheriff's department, or police department. And so there's a lot of things. And we really invite people to come and apply, even if you are working. We have people that are working. We have people retired. We have people that come from a diverse number of backgrounds.
Students,
yeah. Yes.
So, with all of that said, there's a whole lot of a variety of things that you guys are accomplishing and doing, and you can always use more help. Mm-hmm. Could always use more donation and funding, because you turn around and help the
give
community.
It right back to the community.
And so that's pretty awesome, and being able to take care of that, and like you say, 400 kids coming up Christmas time, and that's just around the corner. Mm-hmm. And are there other events that you help out with, as far as, do you hold any of your own events?
We haven't. We're probably going to this year. The guys are excited about it being on our 30th anniversary, so they'd like to see us be in the parades. So we're going to try to do that this year, maybe get a float into a few of the parades. They want to have a big celebration for our 30th anniversary. It's a big deal. So we've put a committee together that's going to start working on that.
30 years, I think that one deserves a little bit of a celebration, absolutely. So, and so with that, so as time goes on, and do you see a lot of turnover with the people that you have?
I don't see it.
No, not. We get to points where after so many years, they do a little bit of burnout. We usually like them to take a vacation or something, but there's some of the guys that we have winter residents that are only up here during the summer, so they take the winters off. We have probably close to 10 guys that do that.
So those guys then, in order to, if they're not in district, say, then
Right.
they don't have to do the 8 hours a month.
No, but they accumulate all their time during the summertime.
Okay, so it kind of evens out. So as long as they're doing enough to cover that 8 hours average
Yeah.
type of deal. So that way, so don't think that just because you're not living here full time,
Very true.
you still have opportunity to be part of this program.
Yes.
And to help out and to give back.
Mm-hmm.
And so just because you're not a full-time resident, you can still come and apply, and that works out pretty good.
It does.
And because I mean, an average, what's kind of an average of how many hours somebody might put in a year's time?
In a year's time, it could be.
Or even let's go a month time.
A month time.
That might be
usually 24 is about the average of hours. There are a few that put in a lot more.
Right.
And there's a few that do their 8, and then the next month they do 8 more. But 24 on an average, I think, is pretty solid.
Okay. But there's no limit to what.
Oh, no.
So.
Well, I mean, take the Mr. President here. He puts in a lot of hours. Was it last month before I left for Hawaii on vacation? I put 124 hours in. But I do.
And that was just 1 month.
In 1 month.
Wow.
But I spend a lot of time at the sheriff's office in Holbrook.
Right.
And in meetings.
Yeah,
That's
that
where
too.
a lot, yeah.
You mean you don't get away from meetings being a volunteer?
No.
No.
Oh, man. So, but that's all right. You know, there's lots of, not every volunteer has to go to all those meetings, right?
No.
No.
So lots of opportunity if you want to become a volunteer with the Sheriff's Auxiliary. Just get with any one of the volunteers themselves and talk with them and see what it is that, you know, learn their experiences from them, and then because everybody has a different perspective on what they do and as a volunteer, right?
That's very true. Each one of the guys are always saying, I hear at least once a month that, hey, I just talked to this guy here and he's interested, and a lot of the guys like to talk a lot,
right?
And are willing to get involved with anybody. They start up conversations even when they're on their lunch meal. If they're sitting next to somebody, they'll sit there and talk with them while they're having their lunch, and it's a unique organization. We are affiliated with the sheriff's office, so we do a lot of emergency stuff in the middle of the night, which it's hard on some people, but we find ways to work around that.
Right, and if you get the call, they're basically saying, "Hey, are you able to come and do this?" And somebody can say, "No, I can't. Maybe I'm sick right now or something." Right?
Exactly.
But yeah, so at least the opportunity of turning down a opportunity, or no, hey, I can come and do that. I can take that position, right? So those middle of the night calls, there's always somebody that can take it.
Usually, they're few and far between, but they do come up every now and then.
Kind of getting back to the Home Watch program a little bit just before, because we're almost out of time here, and I wanted to kind of what's the involvement on the Home Watch program?
Basically what that is they sign up for us to go and we watch their house. We'll do a whole perimeter walk around the house, check for broken windows, check for water pipes that are leaking, doors, check and make sure all the doors and windows are closed. If we do see a problem, then we call, if it's a broken window, we'll probably call the homeowner. If it's an open door, we'll usually call the sheriff's office. And then we'll sit there and wait for them to come and clear the house. And that does happen.
And because unfortunately we have experienced a lot of break-ins and things like that. And so this seems like a really good program for somebody to take up an advantage of, especially if they're not going to be in the area for a while.
That's true. The vacation homes, it is good for people who are away for most of the year and when they come from vacation. But there are also the other Home Watch recipients that are already home, which kind of falls into the welfare check area, where we just make sure that they're okay, that nothing's wrong, they're doing all right.
Right. So Is there, to sign up for this Home Watch, does it cost a certain amount to sign up for it?
No, it's by donations only.
So they can sign up, and then whatever they feel it's worth to them to be able to donate to the cause. And
Very true. And we do, they're in every area of the county. So if it's in Linden, we go to Linden, Pinedale, wherever we're at.
So you
we'll
cover all the way through Pinetop Lakeside to Heber to up towards Holbrook.
All the way, yeah.
So.
And Winslow.
And Winslow.
Oh yeah, I can't forget Winslow. Yeah. That's right. But sounds like a pretty awesome program to be able to participate in, and just for a simple donation, which can be tax deductible because they're donating to a 501c3.
Yes. They do get a letter with the tax ID note just saying, here's your receipt, tax ID number, so they can do their yearly taxes.
That sounds great. So I want to thank you guys again for being able to come onto the show with us and talk about the program that you guys do, and all of the, one, I want to commend you guys for the amount of help that you give to our community. I know I have been, in my position as an investigator, I've had you guys out on several of the different fires that I've investigated, and it's invaluable, the service that you guys provide, because we don't always have the ability to do that ourselves, and we have to maintain that. So thank you again, Jeff Hanna, President of the Navajo County Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers, and Lauri Wong, the Vice President for our SAVs, Navajo County, and thank you for being on the show with us.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Safe and Sound, where we've had the Sheriff's Auxiliary Volunteers talking to us, and stay tuned for next month for another edition of Safe and Sound.